hips down, my head up, and I want to drive with my legs, okay? And I was talking to him, you know, think about this, when I'm driving a bar, you know, think about like you're driving a big ship, and you got a compass, and where my head's pointed is where I'm going to be driving. Because my head's attached to my spine, right? Nope. Right? And if my spine's really basically my direction, okay? When I'm driving direct pressure, okay? So where my head's pointed is usually where I'm going to be driving. If I'm going to drive that shoulder into his ear, my head better be pointed to that ear. And if I continue to drive, and he's ready to go over, and I take my head, and his head stays here, and I'm over here, I'm not driving straight anymore, am I? Now I'm driving straight across, and I'm trying to flip him over like a pancake. And good people don't get flipped over like a pancake, okay? They might work, you know, at some lower level competition. Well, I pinned him with a bar, yeah, okay. Could have pinned him with about 10 different things and done them all half-assed because your opponent wasn't very good. Now you have a false sense of security thinking, I do that well. No, you don't. Doing it wrong days work against guys that suck, right? Okay, we want to learn something that works against everybody. You know, it works against your state champ, works against your NCAA champ, works against your first day wrestler. Okay, not stuff that works against guys who've been out for a year or two, you know, that are still learning. Okay, does that make sense? Why learn it that only works against some people? When I learn it, so it works. This is how you do it. It's going to work against everybody if I do it right. Okay?
It'll work at the regional tournament.
Yeah, it works until you get the regionals.
Yeah. Okay. Just learn it right. There's no magic trick to it. Okay. Now we'll go a different scenario. Okay. We got a bar. Okay, and I'm out here and I'm trying to get this wrist, and this guy's not letting me do it, but I got some pressure. He's hiding his hand. Okay, and I start driving that bar a little bit. What would you do? What would be your first thing you'd do right now? Okay, there's my wrist though. Okay, and I'm driving that bar. Okay, I'm settling on it. You might be a little wide for me. Yeah, you're good. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm not as wide.
Ah, that's great. That's all right. I got a bar. Okay. At times I'll get out here and start running this bar, and guys will look away and try to wing down a little bit. Okay. I just handle let me get the wrist. So he's out here playing now. Let me get the wrist. Fine. I'm going to actually drive in and reach deep as I can, and I'm going to bend, and I'm going to bring my hand up on top of his head. I'm going to put the palm of my hand on the back of his head. Okay? Not his neck. Don't worry about his neck. I want his head. Okay, and I'm going to keep my bar. Okay? And I'm still going to be driving forward. In this case, I'm going to push his head away and point my elbow to the ceiling. The half Nelson elbow. So I'm going to keep it straight. I'm going to drive and point that knee up. Now, did you notice his butt come up? Okay. I am now going to drop my hip. Okay. And I'm going to back into him. I'm going to get my hip all the way to the mat. Okay. I'm still going to push in. I'm going to drop my hip. And I'm just going to back in and stack him. Okay. It's like a wedge. Now, his butt popped up pretty high pretty early. Okay. But I can do it. I get good at it. I can do it when he's flat. Okay. Here, okay, I reached up to his head. Because when I pry, I'm doing this. See that space I'm going to create between his shoulder and his ear? Okay, I also have his elbow up. Okay? And we want to be consistent with this because the next thing I'm going to show, okay, is imperative. Yep, you can do this. Okay, so I'm here, and I'm driving it straight. Okay, I'm driving it straight, and all I'm going to do is drop my hip, and use my feet. My hip stays right on the mat the whole time. I'm going to drive in, and I'm just going to back up into it. Okay? That's one option. If you can get it, you pin people. You get your hip has to stay on the mat. When you're driving in, and his butt starts going up, yours doesn't go with it. Yours goes under like a wedge. Okay? So your hips are pushing his butt in the air. You don't match his hips. They go up, you slide under. So you can use your hip to stack them. Push his butt in the air over his hip. Okay? That's one option. Okay? Second one's a lot easier. It takes a little, I don't know about athleticism, but I'm gonna get the same position. You guys do gymnastics at all?
We had a kid break his foot doing a handstand the other week.
So you guys, you know,
Yeah, we're not too good even on cartwheels still.
even our, part of our warm-up is, you know, dive rolls, handsprings, round-offs, you know, flips, you know, some of our guys are pretty good actually. It's good to be a cartwheel. It's gonna come into play here. I'm gonna do a cartwheel with no arms in this move, okay? But it's gonna be this high off the mat. It's pretty simple, okay? It works, okay? I'm here. I'm sure, you know, you've all done this probably before. You're here and you got a bar and a half and you're running it and that guy's turned away. I'm gonna slide out to his head. I'm gonna get my elbow up, okay? And he's gonna keep fighting it, okay? And remember, I'm pushing his head away, my elbow up. And I created a space between his elbow and his shoulder. I'm gonna keep driving forward and my forehead's gonna go right in that hole. And I'm gonna cartwheel and I'm gonna throw my right hip on the mat on the other side. Okay? It sounds like a lot, but it's not that much. So I'm here, I'm driving it, I'm prying, my elbow has to be up, pushing off this foot. I'm gonna come across, I'm slamming this hip right on his elbow. Wham! And then cover. A lot of times you'll lose that head, you gotta turn and catch. Okay? Shouldn't say a lot of times, sometimes. So I'm driving it, I'm driving that bar, okay? I'm prying his head, my elbow's up. I'm gonna jump over and literally slam my hip on the mat. My hip pushes his elbow, which is basically your half nose. Okay? But, give me another guy so he can see it. Okay? Okay, I got my bar. Okay, get my half. Okay, now I was driving it. Okay, and I'm driving it right here. He's being tough. I point my elbow up. I'm high legging, I'm cartwheeling, and I'm gonna land. I'm gonna land on my hip, all the way over here, and then cover. And when we get that down, sometimes you're gonna need to turn your hand to keep the bar, because sometimes it'll slip, okay? But you'll have a half Nelson. All right, so we have two options here. Here, get on the head. I'm driving it. Okay, I'm gonna drop my hip, and I'm gonna back in. Okay? That's my stack, right? Okay? Another one. On the head, I'm prying it, my elbow's up. My elbow's gotta be pointed up. Okay, hop out here. I create that little space, I'm gonna drive, get my head in there. Cartwheel, slam my hip. Cover. Can we do that? Go try it. Okay, go.